The Red River Farm Network is celebrating Women in Agriculture. This is a special series underway all month long. It's a series we're calling Agricult-HER, and it's been a lot of fun getting the stories that we're sharing this month. Right now we're talking with Mollie Ficocello from Three Farm Daughters from Grand Forks. We're going to get into the Three Farm Daughters story if we can in a bit, Mollie, but let's start maybe by way of introduction. Tell us a little bit about your beginning on the farm, your experience that way as well.
Sure. So I was born and raised in Grand Forks, North Dakota. I'm one of three daughters in our family, and our family has been farming in the Red River Valley for over 30-some years. So I was born into agriculture. I've been around it my entire life, and we always kind of joke in our family that agriculture really tugs at your heartstrings. So even as growing up and leaving North Dakota, all three of us came back and have joined the family farm.
So you did take different career paths, went on to school and went on to different careers. Tell us about that for you and your sisters, if you would.
Sure. Yeah, so we all left North Dakota and went to Minneapolis to pursue education. Annie, my oldest sister, went into real estate and auctioneer and land sales. Myself, I went on to law school, and then my younger sister actually went on and got her MBA and then her aesthetics license and went to the beauty industry. But we all trickled back to the farm.
What brought you back to North Dakota and brought you back to the farm?
Family's really important to us. It's one of our core values that we have in the time we spend together. And so family was a big driver to bring us back, as well as family business. My parents are very entrepreneurial, and the farm has been a big part of our life. So coming back to the farm and then being close with family was very important to us.
I was going to say that entrepreneurship is certainly a family trait. Let's talk about the origin story with Three Farm Daughters. How did this come together?
Yeah, it kind of, we were growing a grain on our farm, and at this time I was just finishing law school and actually coming back to work on the farm full time. So timing was very fun on that. We were growing a grain on our farm that's naturally high in fiber. It was a resistant starch grain. And at the time, really no one had been taking this grain to market into a consumer food product. And so we came together as a family, as sisters, and had this idea as, we were growing our families as well, that we want food that's from a true source and natural to feed our families. And so we came together and started our company called Three Farm Daughters, and what it is utilizing the high fiber grain variety and creating it into a pasta. So this is kind of what it looks like today, and you'll see it on the retail shelves as well as we sell it online.
So where can we find it nationally, or is it just regionally? Where can we find it, Mollie?
Yeah, so we sell it in retail nationally. We're in Albertson Safeway locations as well as areas in Texas, all our local retailers. We're in Whole Foods in the Midwest, Meijer, and then quite a bit out in the Northeast as well nowadays.
That's impressive. How did you get into all of those different outlets? I'm curious.
A lot of it started, when we started Three Farm Daughters, it started by knocking on doors at our local retailers. So we always joke that we would, we don't joke because it happened, but we would go to the back door and deliver to our local Hugo's here in town, drive to Fargo, drop off product, and it was kind of a natural progression. The first big retailer that we actually landed was Whole Foods in the Midwest locations, and that was them reaching out to us, actually. And so once we did that, the growth kind of just progressed, and then leaning on some industry experts to help guide us through those relationships and how to be a good partner to those retailers.
And your branding really tells that farm story. You talked about that clean, simple foods kind of message. How does that resonate? Tell me about that.
One thing that, like I had said, the Whole Foods buyer reached out to us, and we really asked her why or what the interest in Three Farm Daughters was, and it was the connection to the farm. What we have found is that people are really resonating with our products because it brings them back to what the source of the product is. A couple years ago during COVID, when shelves were empty and people couldn't find product and back rooms were empty, people were really wondering where their products were coming from. And now that we're able to kind of bridge the gap from the farm of growing a grain to how it's processed and then made into a pasta and on the shelf is what people have really resonated with. So we use our social platforms a lot to show the farm and show what agriculture is like, as well as just kind of give a peek behind the curtain, we always say, as to what it's like to be an entrepreneur and growing farm grains and things like that.
What have been some of the biggest challenges? I mean, you're looking at everything from manufacturing to securing product to getting it on the grocery store shelf.
Yeah, I think some of our biggest challenges have been new to the industry. We don't come with a long background in CPG and what that looks like working with the retailers. And so, it's been a big learning curve, but I also think that's been a bonus to us in the fact that we're not stuck in our ways of doing it how it's always been done the traditional way. So I'd say that was definitely our biggest hurdle, and it is every day as we learn something new, but it's been part of the most exciting part of our company.
I was on your website doing my homework, Molly, and you got a family motto on there. Would you share it with our viewers?
We have a couple, but probably the no farmer, no food, no future.
I was looking at failure isn't fatal. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
that.
Yep.
You guys are willing to try new things.
Yeah, that was something our parents really instilled in us. Being able to take a risk and go out and really try something new, because at the end of the day, if you fail, you just get back up, you dust yourself off, and you try something new again. So yeah, that was something our parents really instilled in us as children, as well as we grow up and as we take the steps into Three Farm Daughters in our company today.
Makes me smile that you got more than one family motto. You guys are obviously very mission driven.
Yeah, we are.
I love that. I love that. What's it like working with family?
We get that question a lot, and yes, we are three sisters actually. Honestly, I think it's a blessing. Every day can be a little bit of a roller coaster. We all have very strong personalities, but at the end of the day, what's important to us is that we're family. So, we know when we leave the office at the end of the day, we go home and we still are sisters or daughters or wives, things like that, and that we really need to put importance on our family. And so I think it's fun.
You guys all remain involved with the farm. Does that keep you grounded to a degree?
I think it does, yeah. So we are all involved in the farm. Our spouses are involved to some extent. They've all worked on the farm in the past, if not presently. And then we have a cousin who's more like a brother to us that's heavily involved in the farm and helps run the whole show with us.
And you're all still involved with the career that you took coming out of school, correct?
Yeah, for a little bit. My sister Annie still does land sales with her husband. He's actually an auctioneer. I still keep my law license active in North Dakota, Minnesota, and I use that here at our farm office. And then my little sister uses her MBA every day in what she does.
You've got kids, you've got all these different jobs. I don't know how you find enough hours in the day to get all of that done. How do you find that balance?
It takes a village, we always say, and luckily we have a big family to help. But yeah, honestly, it is just that. We rely a lot on each other and our family to help each other out.
You talked earlier about the Whole Food story where they love that connection back to the farm. What are consumers looking for? What's your take on that, Molly?
I think a lot of consumers are looking for just transparent and honest products and companies. They don't want to feel like they're being fooled or told something that's not true. And so by having a clean label and nourishing food to their body is what we've really seen to resonate the most with people. And then being able to see, they want to get behind a company that has a mission and that has a goal in sight. And so that's what's really, I feel like people really like our products, is because they can see the farm and what we're trying to do with clean label and nourishing foods.
Being a woman-owned business, does that open some doors as well, do you see?
Yeah, it actually has opened some doors as well as helped with just expenses. And then, there's a lot of initiatives out there today, especially in the retail space, of trying to help promote women-owned businesses. And so we are a woman-owned certified company, and so that has really helped open doors.
What does that mean? I don't even know that, Molly.
As far as the certification, or?
Yeah.
So there's a group out there that certifies it, just that our ownership in our company, that it's not only the ownership percentages, but also managed and ran by the group that says it is. So for us, that would be women. And so it's just showing that we are truly a women-ran and owned company.
So for some of our viewers that are maybe they've got a business idea, any advice? What recommendations would you have?
I think I would go back to the whole thing of failure isn't fatal. Sometimes it seems scary to take that leap into something new or unknown, to know if it's going to work, if it doesn't, what happens if it doesn't. But at the end of the day, it doesn't hurt to try. And so I would say take the leap and give it a shot.
I always think that maybe just by the general consumers, agriculture is often misunderstood. How do we How do we change some of those perceptions, would you say?
I think just getting out there and showing what it is, whether it be using a social platform or doing things like this and being involved. I think farmers in general and the agricultural industry is very welcoming and is um, very open to showing what we're doing. And so, if the consumer wants to see that or get a little peek behind the curtain, being willing to do that and invite them onto the farm to see what it looks like.
What what kind of folk? Who are your influences? Who do you look to as maybe mentors in this whole process?
I would definitely say my folks are a big mentor and big supporters of us in the fact that they've always encouraged us to go out and take the risks. I would definitely say looking at, even my sisters next to me are mentors. There might be a day where I'm feeling down and, maybe what I was doing didn't go well. At the end of the day, they're like, it's fine. Like, let's move on. Let's push together. And so just having the support system has really been a big growth for us and help.
I agree. Any final thoughts you want to make sure we leave folks with?
No, I just think, honestly, agriculture is such a great industry and it's fun to be part of it and to, really have taken it from the progression of a child and watching my parents farm and like really working at that to now being able to take products from our farm and sell them on a shelf has been really full circle for us. So,
Reminder, folks, how can they find out more about Three Farm Daughters?
yeah, we have a website called threefarmdaughters.com, as well as you can follow us on social. It's Three Farm Daughters is our handle on Facebook and Instagram.
Fantastic. Mollie, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Mollie Ficocello with us from Three Farm Daughters, Grand Forks, North Dakota. Thank you to all of our supporters, Minnesota Soybean Research and Promotion Council, and all the good folks that have helped to make this series possible throughout this month of March. It's our special series called Agricult-HER.